It is a wonderful privilege to have Lebo Magugo here in the studio, Public and Church Relations and in Context International. It's really great speaking to you again. I actually forgot how small you are. I always look like a giant next to you, but you are doing gigantic work for In Context International. Quickly, just to catch up on what you guys are doing
Yes.
in
Oh
your
man,
department.
it's always so good to be here. Really good to be here. No, the relations department. We take speaking engagements and speak at different churches or anyone who invites us, small groups, wherever. So we found ourselves in Pringle Bay, Johannesburg, and different parts of Cape Town, just speaking about what the Lord is doing across the world. So it's been exciting.
What is happening? Because you do a very
Mm.
cross-cultural type of thing. You know, you're
Yes.
involved with so many of our mega churches, which is cross-cultural. What do you see happening there?
Yo, Gilma, I would definitely like to believe there's amazing things happening in the church, especially if the church awakens to that we are part of a global body. We don't just exist for ourselves, and really extending their hands far beyond the church. I think there's so much potential that is able to happen. Obviously, we are so caught up in so many things as a church, as you would know, that is just part of life. So we just need that reminder once in a while to look outward.
But we're here to talk about Nepal.
Yes.
I tell you, I wish I was younger, that I could join your whole journey. Let's talk about that. You're going to Asia. So what is it about? Let's talk about your as in Context International. We know that we are involved in so many areas and so many places. We also keep people up to date as to what is happening relational to the media, to the world environment. So obviously you had a specific reason why you chose that area of the world.
No, definitely. As you have mentioned, In Context is involved in 24 countries, and 6 of those are in South Asia and East Asia. And we also support 70 plus missionaries, families who are in that area, whether it's financial, whether it's through prayer and encouragement or member care. And so this specific region, I mean, we know of there's persecution. It's a strategic nation for the church to be involved. And if I can just even maybe talk a little bit about this area that we are going to, 80% of and more of this area of the people are unreached with the gospel.
Sure.
It's a Hindu majority nation with a minority Christian population of less than 3%. I mean, they do have a significant Buddhist and also a strong Muslim religion. But if you think of a country with more than 80% unreached and such a small percentage of Christians, it just lets you see how strategic it is to be there and to be involved in this region. So hence, we are there.
How did you build relations? Because you have a relationship with this area.
The biggest way, and that's what we're doing with this group, is through exposure. You know, there's something different about going to people and sitting at their table and hearing their stories and and seeing how they live. That just makes you build such a connection. And that's what In Context really love to do, to really go to these nations, meet the people and expose people so that we can build that connection. And once that happens, they become a part of you. And I think that's exactly that. That's how, as In Context, we got involved. And that's what we want to see. With taking people to be exposed to
But
these
it's not
regions.
just people. You're taking youth, young
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
What was the motivation for that choice?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm jealous. I'm not young. It's unfair.
the young at heart. I'm also almost out of the young adults
Far
bracket.
from.
But I think that's the exciting part about this. I mean, as In Context, our trips are usually open to everyone from whatever age. And we have these kind of trips in the year. But this one is specific that, as you say, it's taking young people. And young people from different demographics, young people from different ethnic groups. So just that group. And I mean, the current age is between 18 and 39. Yeah, that bracket. So we have a department at In Context called the Generation Next, where we really want to equip the next generation, and we really want to expose the next generation so that they are able to see beyond themselves and lead this country and lead these kind of areas with that mindset. If that's
Asia, what are the challenges? We talk about persecution, about that there's only a few percent. So when one take a group in there, what will your focus be without creating a suspicion?
mm. Yeah, and that's why so many times we can never talk so openly about
Yes.
these regions because of that. You mentioned the challenge, and you mentioned persecution. That's exactly that. I had just a little chat with the missionary who's in the area that we go into, and she just mentioned that persecution is the biggest challenge, and especially at this moment, where you're finding that not only for Christians but for minority religions over there, that you found that they've burned the places of worship or they've targeted the places of worship rather. And you find that persecution is in all levels. It's not only from the government, it's also persecution from the community and persecution as well from families. So because the culture is so intertwined with the religion that it's not easily accepted when you change your faith in being a Christian. So we do have to be cautious when we enter these areas and not enter and say, hey, we're here to do mission work. We are here to support, obviously, those who are serving there. And we go in visiting them and going to their different communities, and we go into the work that they do over there. So we are really guided by them. So we are even under that kind of protection over them. So we don't just go, and just see what we do, but we really are in support of the work that's already been done in that area.
Now, when big groups like your group, how many people are you looking at?
We are 10.
10.
Yeah.
So when a group, which is actually a big group in that area, when you enter into an area, how do you, what do you find, what is the government's or the approach of the people in general for visitors visiting that area, then obviously knowing that they are from a country like us?
So when you go in such an area, you might say you're going for visiting or touristic reasons of visiting, but you never really obviously mention that on the specific thing that you're going for. And the thing is, with the area that we're going to, the government does allow you to practice your religion, your faith.
Okay.
But what you are not allowed to do is be seen, if I can say, evangelizing or just sharing your faith openly. It's even so restricted in this area that even sometimes doing trainings with local believers can be looked in with suspicion.
Sure.
So definitely the missionaries who are there, obviously, they've got different strategies in which they do it. And using
God gives amazing strategies.
Really creative strategies, and in working with the people and also building relationship. Nobody can really persecute you for building relationship and letting people see your life and the way you just live as a Christian. So learning from such people, I think would be amazing for us as young people to see us coming from a Christian nation, to see how things are done in a non-Christian nation, if you can call it that.
So, is your group already completed, the group that is going, or is there still room for people?
We do have a waiting list because, with such trips, some things happen and people pull out.
Yeah.
So we have people who say, hey, I would like to put my hand up if there's an opportunity. Yeah. And as I say, this is not just the first time. We will be doing other trips. So if you put your name down, we will let you know and notify you of different trips in different areas, or if we go back there again. So people are, they're always welcome to join such mission.
But you are
exposure
hosting an evening specifically focused on sharing more info on a very private level with people about where you're going, and also to give people opportunity to come and sow basically into this trip.
Yes.
So when is this happening?
So we're having, on the 8th of June, we're having a high tea We've themed it high tea in the Himalayas. So there'll be lots of food, which people love.
Ah, lovely.
But also there'll be such, as you say, there'll be an intimate space where we can share intimately about this. And what we'll do, we'll also have a missionary coming to share with us on what is happening in the area, and also some of the young people who are going. So it will have that personal touch to it, which we really want to see. But we want people to come along with us, not just, if I can say, financial, but also in prayer and in every way to really be coming along with this group. So people will then buy tickets. Gigi is my colleague and is the contact person if you want to buy a ticket there. And then, unfortunately, there won't be tickets at the door because of the intimate space that it is. So people then, as that way, buying that ticket would be in sowing towards a fundraiser for these young people to be able to go, because they would need to raise their own support in flights, inland costs, and visas, and all these other things that comes with traveling.
So when is this trip taking place?
It's taking place in November, so we have a little bit of time.
We have a little bit of time, yes.
Yeah. No.
And are you going with?
Yes, Lord willing, I'll be going with.
Is it difficult to obtain visas for traveling or?
Traveling is always such a, there's never a straight way. There's always challenges, But we've had a group that has gone last year, and they were able to obtain the visa. So we'll use the same method in obtaining the visa, and we just take it from there and just hope that things are still the same way that we are able to get a visa. Yeah.
But God's in control.
Amen. That
I'm
is so
sure
true, Gemma.
everything is done and dusted already up there.
Yeah, He's gone before us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we have to trust
But
in
you
that.
know what I like about these trips, listening to you guys and speaking to Gustav, and all the people that's involved in Context International, is that it's an organization that God favors. Not that He's got any, more people than other, but you guys are one of the organizations that really wants to do with what God is on God's heart, and I can often see that He just opens a way, and that He leads the way, and that and this is really encouraging. How can we get people to get to your newsletter? Because that is one that tells everything about everything, and also encourages people very, very regularly.
Definitely. I mean, and it's so great to be able to receive these news and get to know what is happening in the world.
Yes, and put it in perspective, because that's what you guys do very well.
No, definitely. No, thank you for that encouraging words that you just gave me, or that you just spoke about in context. But people can really subscribe to the newsletter. You just go to our website in Context International, and there's a subscribe. You can subscribe and get weekly news on your email. We are on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all the platforms. Yes, there we go. So please, you can follow us, and you get this kind of news on there, on the platform.
For you, what's on your heart for this trip?
Wow, Gilma.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, but that's such a great question. I think for me personally, sometimes when you are doing day-to-day life, you forget. You forget that there are people who are struggling to live their faith. There are people who are struggling to walk as a Christian. You forget about the underground church, because you are in such a free nation. And my heart is to be reminded once again, and to have that, that, if I can, I don't know if I should call it that passion again of the gospel, to rekindle that, and to come back to my own place, never the same again, and having a different perspective on the way I live my life. I think that's just my personal, and I mean, I can imagine how everyone has a different heart when it comes to this, but
Thank you very much for visiting us. May you be blessed, and we're looking forward to get feedback from this wonderful. And you can go onto our Facebook, and we've done a Facebook Live, and we will put some pictures on of the two of us in the studio.
Awesome. Thanks, Gilma. It's always such a blessing being here.
Have a lovely day. And here's Matthew West with Never Ever Give Up. And this is the whole thing with faith, and even the persecution, they never give up. Bye-bye.